Good morning, Bix Weir, Roadrunner.com. With your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. I will be posting later today another Jenny Moonstone video talking about the pre-planned, packaged implosion of the silver manipulation. She's been nailing it, and I think she's spot on again with this one. We talk about who it is. They are offering up some sacrificial lambs to keep the game going. They know the game is ending, but they have to keep it going. They cannot allow silver to be freely traded, so they're going to sacrifice a couple very large players. And let's talk about it. Jenny and I talked about it. She pulled cards on this stuff, and it's like, holy crap. So check that out. That will be posted later today. But, as we all know, there is a silver shortage everywhere in the world. On the retail side, on the 1,000-ounce bar side, the only place that the shortage does not show up is the price of silver as determined on the futures and options rigged market called the Comex, run by the CME Group, owned by ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. All the way, let's go all the way to the deep state bad guys, ICE. They own all the exchanges. ICE is it sprang from a couple criminals in the oil market back in the, I think it was late 80s it was formed. All about derivatives, all about high-frequency trading, all about Virtu Financial, all about that stuff. Yes, they are in charge of Bakkt. Bakkt is the Bitcoin, it's not an ETF. I don't even know what you call it. They say it's custodianship. Yeah, Bitcoin's knee-deep in the deep state as well. So, yeah, I don't deal with Bitcoin anymore. I love it. I love the concept. As a matter of fact, Jenna and I talk about Satoshi in this latest. And if you don't know my take on Satoshi, go check it out. I don't think I was originally correct, although the guy I said was part of it. I didn't say it was him. I said it was part of the Satoshi group was Alan Greenspan. Those of you who follow my work know that Alan Greenspan was one of the very first computer programmers in the 1960s. He invented our electronic financial system with Arthur Burns, the head of the Fed, and his best friend from high school, a guy named John Keminey. John Keminey invented basic computing for all you old guys who had to take basic in like college. I think I took basic computing in college. I don't remember anything about it, but at the same time, those of you who are computer programmers should know what BASIC is. BASIC is the first shareable computer program programming language invented by John Keminey back in the early 1960s. Heavily involved with the U.S. military and DARPA and all that. Alan Greenspan was the best at it, the best at financial computer programming, invented the first computer rigging programs in the 1970s, and implemented. Yes, and Alan Greenspan was the biggest gold bug in the world as well. It all goes hand in hand. Alan Greenspan, his job was to delay the obvious and inevitable, which is the old fiat money system crashes, and we go back to the gold standard was all we had at the time, a gold and silver standard. I don't know why I ever leave silver out. Silver's been more important money than gold its entire life. I know the banking cabal likes to say, "Oh, gold is money." Silver's been money a whole lot longer than gold, a whole lot more useful than gold. And now in the technological age, silver is moving into something that is just going to blow your mind. Silver and gold will be 1-for-1 price-wise. 1-for-1. Right now, it's like 68-to-1, something just stupid. Because of these guys. Voila, here we have the Comex data. What's going on, Bix? What's going on? Is silver going to break free? Who knows? It's a click of a mouse. Break free means volumes like this stop. 500 million ounces traded in a day of electronic futures and options between literally maximum 8 people. 99% of all trades are just banks trading back and forth. Virtu Financial is a big part of that. Virtu Financial, high-frequency trading company run by Vinny Viola. Vinny Viola, the guy that Trump tried to nominate as the head of the Navy, even though he got kicked out of West Point. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. But let's get down to brass knuckles, brass tacks, brass knuckles. I feel like brass knuckles right now with this. I'm going to show you who these criminal shorts are, by the way, and they fluctuate. And the CFTC in their last report on silver, back when they were saying, oh, there's no silver manipulation because, and they listed all these reasons. One of the reasons they said this is back when JP Morgan was rigging the market, that they had later conceded they were. But one of the reasons they said they can't be rigging the market is different entities hold the short position. Well, how hard is it to pass off JP Morgan, pass off their short position to someone like Goldman Sachs or Bank of America? I'm going to get to that in a second. All right. So here's what's happening in this delivery month. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be over 100 million ounces. No, it isn't. I can tell you exactly how much. Not exactly. I'll bet you guys. I get this within 3. How about within 3 million ounces? I bet that the total silver delivery month for the month will be 63 million ounces plus, or right around 63 million ounces, plus or minus 3 million ounces. So 60 or 66 million, which is, don't get me wrong, that's a huge month, especially when there's no silver available. The only 1,000-ounce bars out there are bars that banks have to borrow from JP Morgan. JP Morgan, that criminal bank, is just, they're amazingly evil. But they did what the Hunt brothers couldn't do. They cornered the market on silver, and now they're making people pay the piper. They're leasing silver out so that people can sell silver. The banks who lease silver from JP Morgan, unless they have a dollar buyout attached to the lease, a fixed buyout, are going to be destroyed. And they are too big to fail banks. Anyway, here's what's going on. As you can see, a bunch of contracts were delivered yesterday, and that was, or the notification went out yesterday, and that was 5,123 contracts, about a little over 25 million ounces. And then, so there's still 7,561 contracts. That's how I get to the 63 million number. These contracts can be closed out in cash, but usually these are delivered into the month. But yeah, remember, we're playing on their rules. So we'll see if my 63 million ounce number prevails. Again, they have till the end of the month, or near the end of the month. And oh, by the way, to deliver these, by the way, near the end of the month is when the congressional hearings are for the banksters, for these guys. Let's take a look at who made the deliveries. This is just, I love the Comex and the what the CFTC requires them to do, because everything else is, you can't see what's going on. You don't know, when you see these volumes, you don't know who's doing it. You think, oh, that's just the market. No, it's a handful of people. Who are these handful of people? Who had the short position this time? Who had the hot potato this time? As Ted Butler had predicted, Bank of America had to deliver 1,497 contracts. Of course, JP Morgan's there with their monster customer, whoever their customer is. It's probably the U.S. government. They had to deliver 10 million ounces. So this puts Bank of America as number 2 behind JP Morgan. Bank of America this year has just been delivering, and they have delivered a total of 3,697 contracts, 18 million ounces from a freaking bank who wasn't even in the silver market very much past a year ago. They have been leasing metal from JP Morgan to fill deliveries. These banks all collude together, by the way, which is completely illegal. That's why they went after JP Morgan for RICO charges, racketeering charges. And JP Morgan is not allowed to do anything according to the settlement. The biggest part of that settlement was not the $980 million. It was that the continuation that JP Morgan swears they won't rig the markets again. I would, well, the CFTC couldn't do anything anyway because they're useless. But I would be on Jamie Dimon's, tapping Jamie Dimon's phone, tapping all the gold and silver brokers at JP Morgan, tapping their phones. Get a court order, get a warrant to tap their phones and say, okay, who's talking to who? Hopefully they're already doing that. I know the NSA is already doing that. Who's talking to who? Who told Bank of America they had to pick up the ball as far as the short position and be the sacrificial lamb? Why does Bank of America, why are they dealing in so much physical deliveries, meaning that they were the short? Why was JP Morgan short so much physical silver? So much silver in general? And what is their position today? If Congress really wants to get to the bottom of it, ask JP Morgan, hey, how many ounces of physical gold do you actually own and control? So any of the derivatives that they want to place on, how much physical silver does JP Morgan own and control? And including leases of metal. That's ownership and control. And in Bank of America, how many shorts do you have and why? Why are you short? And this is their house account. Why? This is a too big to fail bank. Betting and losing on silver. Why? Bank of America, why do we even give you a banking license, which is a license to print money? And if you go down, you're a too big to fail bank, you take the entire economy down, and yet you're betting massive amounts of short positions on silver. Why? And this is their house account right here, H, house account. There you go, Congress. Let's see if you ask those questions. No, I won't. They can't do that. Those would be real questions. They ask the questions that are put in front of them for the dog and pony show that is Congress. Anyway. Yeah, you can see right here all the, so all Bank of America does is deliver silver. Look at this, 981 contracts, 1,219 contracts, 1,497. It's getting bigger and bigger. Where'd they get that silver, first of all? They got it from leasing it from JP Morgan. They have to pay it back. They got to pay it back. Well, it depends what you write in the leases. You can pay it back. They could say, oh, you can pay us back in physical or cash payments. Even cash payments. I mean, say silver spikes to $500. That puts Bank of America out of business. Why are they risking the viability of the entire global economic system on silver shorts? Because that's what the destruction of Bank of America is. That Bank of America is a too big to fail bank, meaning it destroys all banks, even JP Morgan. Bank of America goes down, all banks get destroyed. So we'll see what happens. I think it's crazy. But more great news, hysterical news. This guy, Ed Moy. Ed Moy used to be the U.S. Mint director. I had a contact at the U.S. Mint. I'm like, what the fuck's Ed Moy's problem? He was bought and paid for shill, not very bright, but they pulled him out. They pulled him out to kind of explain what's going on. I put in a Freedom of Information request at the U.S. Mint and the U.S. Treasury back when the U.S. Mint had stopped production of Silver Eagles illegally. And I pointed out, I showed them the 1987 Gold Eagle, or 1987 Bullion Eagle Act. I forgot the exact name of it. But 1987 is when Barney Frank and somebody else created the act to require the mint to print gold and silver eagles. They were different, though. Gold had to be sourced domestically because of all our special secret gold contracts. We can't legally, in far as global treaties, take gold from other countries. The U.S. government can't. And I've seen those. That's fine. They don't tell anybody about it, but that's fine. So all the gold had to be sourced from the United States of America to make the gold eagles. For silver, there is no contract like that. There is no global agreement like that. And they required in the law that the U.S. Mint buy it from wherever they can get it for, as long as they're meeting demand, meaning that it was illegal for them to shut down. It was illegal for them to shut down. I'm screaming about it. I'm jumping up and down. I'm filing FOIA requests, and Ed Moy was the guy. So Ed Moy sends me back. I got both the Treasury and the U.S. Mint to respond. They have to respond to the FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, and both of them said the exact same thing. The U.S. Mint said, this is not under our jurisdiction. This is the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint said, this is not under our jurisdiction. It's the U.S. Treasury. I'm like, oh, give me a freaking break. I still have the two letters and the envelopes and everything. They're all official. And they both said, it's their fault. It's their fault. And later they changed the law, believe it or not. They reworded the law to make it say that you still have to print coin or mint coins in quantities sufficient to meet demand, which they're not doing, subject to the judgment of the Treasury Secretary. So Treasury Secretary said, oh yeah, we're meeting demand, even though every mint around the world is shut down for the most part. Anyway, but Ed Moy was the guy. They trotted this little motherfucker out. He's probably as dumb as a stump. And he's a terrible actor. Horrible actor. So I'm gonna play some of this. This is just embarrassing that this guy was in charge of anything. But I'm gonna play this and comment as we go. Check this out. And this, you got to be wary of it because Kitco brought him on. So you know he's going to run by a script. And let's decipher what that script is.
You're watching Kitco News coming to you from New York. I'm Michelle McCory. Fed Chair Powell says that the Fed is not considering slowing the pace of its asset purchases and that it's not even time to start talking about tapering. Powell is also reiterating that inflation will be transitory and controllable. Joining me now to discuss this and more is the man who headed the U.S. Mint during the financial crisis of 2008. Ed Moy was the 38th director of the United States Mint, a position he held for a 5-year term under both President Bush and President Obama. And Ed is currently the chief strategist at Valerium. Ed, good to have you with us.
Michelle, thanks for having me. And that great introduction is not going to get you any free samples from the Mint today.
Well, perhaps next time.
Wow. Wow. Oh, my God. Ed. Nice try, bud. Keep going.
I'm building up cred, but I appreciate that that's how your head is thinking, Ed. Let's focus on what we heard from Fed Chair Powell, because he's saying, get ready for higher inflation.
They talk about inflation, all normal stuff, but then they jump to, they talk about retail demand. Check this out.
Approach, to your point, seems to be rather do too much and deal with the consequences later than do too little. But we are getting a lot of red flags about inflation. But surprisingly enough, we're not seeing this really reflected in the spot gold price.
Surprisingly enough, why is Kitco surprised at gold and silver not reacting to true inflation when they never have, as long as the criminals have been in charge of this thing, rigging it with computers and derivatives? This is, I mean, just that set it up. Surprisingly enough, interestingly enough, let's see what Ed reveals.
Was slightly up on the recent statement from the Fed, but we haven't really seen this inflation reflected in the spot price of gold. It's been struggling to break past the 1800 level since late February. So why do you think that is?
Yeah, very good point, Michelle. And I would point out too that the spot price is what's currently going on in the market today, but it's not really the full price of what it costs to buy gold. So if you go to any one of the top retailers in gold bullion and take a look at what they're charging for a 1 ounce American Eagle gold bullion coin, even though the spot price right now is $1,775, give or take, you're hard pressed to find a 1 ounce gold coin for anything less than $2,000. And I've seen it as high as $2,100. And so when you add that together, you are seeing a 20% premium if you can even find the gold coins to buy.
Well,
okay, nothing illegal there. Truthfully, the retail side, the argument they always made was, oh, it's just a fabrication issue. It's not a metal issue. So he didn't really reveal anything yet. Good job, Ed. You're staying within the boundaries. Keep it going.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there does seem to be a disconnect between spot gold price and demand for gold bullion. We're seeing a big premium in both silver and gold between the physical silver and paper silver, and as well, to your point, with gold. But I guess the question is, at what point does this premium catch up with the spot price?
Yeah, and I think what's artificially depressing the price of gold now is that there's a lot of institutional investors that don't hold gold, but what they do is they buy gold derivatives. Like,
okay, artificially suppressing the price of gold is illegal. That's illegal. And he just said there is something illegal holding him down. Now, he thinks it's a whole bunch of institutional investors. It's not. It's a handful. Ted Butler's named them. There's 8 of them. And really, there's 4 that are suppressing the price of gold. Just 4. It's not the market for gold and silver is tiny if you take out the big guys, the guys who rig the price. Check out, he keeps putting his foot in his mouth, maybe on purpose because of the packaged situation coming up.
Like futures and so on. And a lot of them are betting that the economy is going to recover, everything's going to be fine, and gold's going to go down. But as those short contracts come up, what you're seeing is a popping in price, just like it did last week. It went from 1730 to maybe 1785. And I think over time, you're going to see much more of that, especially that since that not only the U.S. Mint, but also other mints around the world, Australian's Perth Mint, the Mexican Mint, have all run out of gold. They can't keep it in stock, and retailers can't. There's so many shortages, retailers are having problems accessing that gold.
Oh, John Adams should love that one. The ex-director of the U.S. Mint, the most powerful mint in the world, just said that the Perth Mint is out of metal. By the way, Kitco just sent him a, I don't know if I'm not allowed to say it. I'm probably not allowed to say it yet. I'll wait. But he's fighting with Kitco right now. Let's keep listening.
All right, so given that the demand is there, and to your point, there are struggles with supplies, at least from a mint perspective, what does it mean for the price? What is your outlook for spot gold over, say, the next 6 months or so?
Yeah, that's another good point. And I would just point out that Goldman came out with their report today, and they think gold's going to go up to 2,000 over the next 6 months. I think that's a...
Oh my God, 2,000 over the next 6 months. You just said that the premiums and demand are going to continue. Why would it only go to 2,000? Ed?
A fairly reasonable prediction. It might even go up to 2,100. Because when you look at the price of the premium that it takes to buy a gold coin today, I think the true market price of gold is between $2,000 and $2,100.
I think the true market value of gold, meaning the market value that they're telling you is a lie, it is artificially suppressed. Ed Moy, just keep going, baby. Keep it coming.
And that's the current price as reflected with a premium.
Yep.
So stands to reason if there is more demand, then that spot price should be even higher.
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm a little conservative, but I do think there's a lot of unknowns out there. And so, but I do think that you will see gold prices appreciate at a fairly good pace from now until the end of the year.
Way to go, Ed. There's more. Basically, he says exactly what we've known all along, that the gold price and the futures and options price are completely, have nothing to do with each other, because one is the real price for physical metal and the other is a criminal rigged operation. That's basically what he's saying. The U.S. Mint director, Mr. Edward Moy. Moy. Joke. All right. Theta Girl's coming out tomorrow. The song will be released tomorrow. I can't hold it back anymore. Unless Theta TV comes and says, Bix, we want to spotlight it. But I don't think they will, because there's too many controversial things I say in the song that haven't happened yet. And they can't give up that ghost. But I am going to post it on Theta. On Theta TV. Go to Road to Ruta, Theta TV, and you will see the new song, new video, Theta Girl. Great job, Josh, in putting that video together. It's awesome. It's great fun. People have asked me, Bix, Michelle Whitedove has a new coin. Yes, she does. And definitely go subscribe to her Patreon. I will not be investing in that coin. I did a quick look at it. I haven't done a deep dive. I don't believe the management team knows what the hell they're doing. I think it's a huge money grab, 35% giving away in the first year. I think there's all kinds of problems, all kinds of red flags. So I'm not going to invest in it. But it has literally gone up because Michelle said. All the Michelle followers are bidding this thing up. I don't know if the market's going to believe them, and then it'll crash down. But who knows? Who knows? Michelle's really good at what she does, but I look at investing in cryptocurrencies in different ways. Number one, look at the management. And I saw the Theta management. I'm like, this is all-star management in the video world. These guys are the best at what they do. The guys in the new coin that Michelle recommended are like 20-year-olds from India with no experience and nothing behind. I'm like, why would you do this? So no, I will not. And they're giving away coins, and they ICO'd it. It's like and it's like the reason that nobody had heard of it is because it's a DeFi type of coin. I will not be investing in it, because when you invest in something right now, it means you got to take it away from something else. And Theta is about to literally rocket moonshot. Why would I move any money out of Theta, which is basically a given home run, given that this company, Autograph, is about to announce their blockchain? And if it is what I believe it is, Theta, then hello, $888 Theta. I think a 10x move is coming for Theta in the next 2 months. So no, I will not be investing in Michelle's new coin. I wish everybody the best, but I also caution them, because the whole reason it went from like $2 to $10 is because of Michelle's followers. That's kind of scary when you're investing in a coin. Theta, on the other hand, and Theta did the same thing when Michelle said, "Hey, buy Theta." It went from like $12 to $20, and then fell back down to $4. So I don't know. For Roadrunner subscribers, you know how I look at investments. I look at the management. I look at, did they ICO? Yes, these guys did ICO. And the technology, supply and demand, they're giving away 35% of the coins in the first year. It's a money grab, as Charlie Lee would call it. It's a money grab, in my opinion. Now, farther down the line, it might turn into something. And that's what Michelle said. It's a long-term coin. But I will not be investing in it. Okay, but mainly because I'd have to take money out of Theta, and who would, in their right mind, would take money out of Theta right at that time? We are right at that time. After all these years of work, and the best people and the best partnerships, and when you get this guy, Tom Brady, about to say buy Theta, you want to be fully loaded in Theta and Theta Fuel. Which will do better? I don't know. Probably Theta Fuel, because Binance can rig that one higher easier. Anyway, go to roadrunner.com. We do talk, Jenny and I do talk about the new coin and her read on it. So really interesting stuff. And yes, we are still, at least for right now, we are still giving away one silver Ruta coin with every private road subscription and renewal. 1 year subscription and renewal gets tacked on to wherever your current expiration date is. The coolest coin in the world. Look at this Ruta coin. Every time I look at it, they're each individually numbered, double stamped with luster. Just the coolest coin ever made. And it comes in a very fancy burlap sack. That was my idea. All my marketing gurus on the Roadrunner team said, no, we got to have something nice. I'm like, I want it in a burlap sack. It does have a plastic case around it, so you won't get fingerprints on it and stuff like that. But it's in a burlap sack. I love it. And it gets mailed to your front door everywhere in the world. So if you want, and this is only good until silver hits $30. After $30, boom, the giveaway is over. So you might wake up tomorrow morning and silver hit $30 and it's over. But right now we are giving away one silver Ruta coin with every subscription. So join today. Go to roadrunner.com, hit subscribe today. And I will be posting in about 2 or 3 hours the Jenny Moonstone discussion, as well as my analysis of what Jenny comes up with. And yeah, stay tuned. This is Bix. I'll talk to you guys later.